So, something's happening at a school. Would you like to guess where the school is?
Go on.
All right. I gotta see the link first.
Well,
Because I'm gonna say Buffalo School District, New York City.
no, it's the
Or
other
New
one.
York State.
What is the school district that is famous for allowing deranged perverts to molest other children?
If it's not Buffalo, it's somewhere in Minnesota.
No, it's the other one, apparently. It's Loudoun County
somewhere.
again.
Got it. That's right, Loudoun County.
Fucking hell.
These fucking guys.
So, 7 News obtains locker room video in police investigation into Loudoun County boys. Last week, some dickhead reporter broke the story that Loudoun County Public Schools is investigating 3 young men who were videotaped inside the boys' locker room. Firstly, that's illegal.
Yeah, well, what were they videotape doing?
Asking why the deranged, dumb bitch who's pretending she's a dude was in there filming them. Oh, I'm not even joking.
Yeah, no, that's totally legitimate.
The video was shot by who they say is a biologically female idiot that uses the boys' facilities because she identifies as a moron. This is permitted under the Loudoun County Association's Policy 8040.
Carry on.
The boys' parents insist they did nothing wrong and are demanding to know why their sons are being investigated when the student who shot the video in the boys' locker room, which clearly violates school policies, is not facing the same scrutiny. I want to know why the student that shot the video hasn't been arrested. In what fucking universe is it okay to take video inside a fucking bathroom? Like, that is one of the places where it's clearly fucking not allowed.
Yeah.
Also, you know what? I am entirely in favor of segregated spaces. I'm entirely in favor of women being in women's spaces.
Exactly. Women should be at home so that they can't get into trouble at school, right?
Well,
at this point, I don't even know if I'm joking or not anymore.
Yeah.
Me neither.
So,
carry on.
7 News exclusively obtained the video that started, and is the video of the school district's Title IX. Of course, it's fucking Title IX. Trump, you bastard, do something about Title IX. So, 3 boys accused of sexual harassment of a female student. I thought they identified as a boy. How can they be a female student if they identify as a boy? Come on, school district, pay attention to your own insanity. At least be consistent with your delusions.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. We're in Loudoun County again, where they're being a bunch of rapey again.
Oh. Nothing new.
So, I'll just recap the story. So, we're in Loudoun County, where the schools are investigating 3 young men who were videotaped inside the boys' locker room. Interesting. How did they get videotaped in a locker room? The video was shot by who they say is a biologically female student that uses the boys' facilities because she identifies as male. This is permitted because Loudoun County is run by lunatics. The boys' parents insist they did nothing wrong and are demanding to know why their sons are being investigated when the student who shot a video in the boys' locker room, which clearly violates school policies, is not facing the same scrutiny. I wonder, it's probably also illegal.
Yeah.
Why?
Go ahead.
Well, yeah, like, why the fuck are the victims being investigated? What kind of fucking backwards ass?
Wait till you hear what they're getting investigated for.
Even when the fucking girl fucking identifies as a fucking boy, she still doesn't fucking have to take responsibility. It's bullshit.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's been the theme since you left, I guess.
Well,
yeah. So,
carry on.
The 7 News exclusively obtained the video of the Stardol, and I think that's at the top of the page, so we can look at that in a bit. And is at the heart of their stupid fucking Title IX investigation into the 3 boys accused of sexual harassment of a female student. That student identifies as an idiot and has been using boys' locker room facilities. She took this video in school. Okay, who's writing this article? Nick Minnock keeps calling her she. Good job, Nick.
Well, yeah, no, right. He's got the gender right. I really
oh my fucking god! It's worse than I thought when I read it the first time. I missed a part of this when I read it the first time. Sorry, go on, Dave.
I hate how much agency is attributed to teenage children. And not just boys and women, not just boys, but girls too. Like, But this is an instance where they are blaming the boys for shit that it's like they're fucking teenagers, dude. And you can't blame teenagers for acting in a fucking teenage manner.
Dave,
And you can't
it's far worse than that. They're not acting in a teenage manner.
Yeah.
They are acting in a victim of a sex crime manner.
No, yeah, but I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
you can't blame, like, if, like, okay, so I have a gay son, and I love him very much. It's not the problem. And nobody calls him, but if they did, it would be like, that's kind of the ground you tread on.
Well,
right?
That just means he's not acting
like I don't get pissed off when I'm called a cracker. I guess is really what the question, what the response is that you get called what you are. You got to kind of fucking accept it.
All right.
Like, I'm sorry, especially by a teenager, because no teenagers are. They're either gonna lie to you about everything or nothing. So.
Yep.
Yes, but that's not. That's very true, but it's not remotely relevant because the article gets worse with every sentence. The female student turns on her camera and then walks into the boys' locker room. Most of the video is dark, but you can hear locker room sounds and boys' voices. There's a girl in here. There's a girl, the boy asks. 30 seconds later, you hear this. Why is there a girl? I'm so uncomfortable. There's a girl, the boy says. A female bro, get out of here, a boy responds. The parents of the boys say they're having a conversation amongst themselves and not with the female student. It shouldn't fucking matter if they were.
That bitch was fucking videoing the shower.
Yeah.
That's
when the female
Could you imagine if there was a male teacher videoing the shower of even men or women? Yeah.
This shit like, yeah. Who referenced something about policy and not crime? Someone referenced something about. Oh, Tristan says, why is the story referencing school policy, not the penal code? Well, because nothing the boys did was illegal, and women can't make adult decisions, therefore they're not responsible enough to be charged with crimes. This is not my opinion. This is the opinion of the Loudoun County Police and School District. So that's when the female student appears to take the phone out of her pocket and aims the camera at the boys in the locker room with the shower area and bathroom area visible. Shortly after that, the video ends. There are 3 audio redactions in the video, which are when the boys' names are being spoken. The school district refused to give a copy of the video to the 3 boys who are being investigated according to the boys' families. The only way the families were able to receive a copy of the video was by submitting a Freedom of Information Act request to the Loudoun County Sheriff's Office. So that's right, accused of misconduct can't see the evidence, which had a copy of the video. The Sheriff's Office has a copy of the video because the deputies were reviewing the video to see if the female student committed a crime by recording minors in the locker room. Yes, she fucking did.
It's distribution of child fucking pornography.
Well,
is what it is, dude.
If they caught anything on it, but it's still fucking disgusting.
I was gonna say what Beth just said. Like, I don't think any of them were unclothed, but still.
Yeah, that's fair. If they're not unclothed, that's different. Yeah.
It's still not okay.
There's still an expectation of privacy.
Yeah, that's still not a place where you're supposed to have cameras.
No.
Or be recording.
Like that's one of the restrictions on the whole. You can record anything you like thing that people constantly get wrong in America. You cannot be recorded anywhere you have a reasonable expectation of privacy. You want to guess what's specifically referenced when that comes up? Bathrooms.
Bathrooms, locker rooms, like any place where you're going to be changing.
Exactly.
You can't have a camera in there.
Yeah, anywhere you would reasonably expect to not be viewed by others. Minnock. Who's Minnock? Is this the reporter? Yes.
Yeah,
It's Minnock who wrote the story. See, this is how you do it, journalists. You don't write in first-person narrative. You can write it in the third person. So, the reporter spoke to the parents whose sons are under investigation. I don't even think the Title 9 investigation is justified. They've named a parent by the looks of it. A woman who I'm not going to name told 7 News an exclusive interview. The parents are mystified and angry, demanding to know what exactly in this video justifies their sons being formally investigated for sexual harassment. Loudoun County Public Schools absolutely failed these children, and they've been failing children for years. The only thing they're good at is allowing them to be raped and abused. They
Can't show Loudoun County is, dude. Holy fuck.
Loudoun County needs to have the fucking feds sent in. Like, I swear to God,
Well,
they need to mobilize the National Guard and wipe out Loudoun County.
if the feds weren't a bunch of fucking groomers too, then yeah, sure.
Yeah, well, we need to send someone in. If we can send in the fucking airborne so a black kid can go to school, we can send in the National Guard to stop a bunch of rapey fucking pedophiles in the local government.
Fucking hate it.
So, I have a daughter that's in high school as well, and if there was a male in there videotaping her in the locker room, I'd have issues, another parent said. The guy that they have named is the father of another boy under investigation. Oh, we won't name the boys. Yeah, we'll just name their fucking fathers. Yeah, good job. Good fucking job, Nick. God damn it. Even the good journalists are morons.
Yep.
If it's my son and there's a female in the locker room videotaping, I have issues. And here's what gets crazy. If I had a son in a school and there was another boy in the locker room filming, I'd have a problem with that too. It's almost as if the gender of the person doing the filming doesn't fucking matter. It's the filming.
Right.
Oh,
yeah, exactly.
Strange, huh? Fucking.
God, dude, I can't imagine as a teenage boy or a teenage girl, either or, what it would be how traumatic it would be to have someone filming in your fucking locker room.
Like, you see that shit in the movies as
fun.
the extreme form of bullying that occurs slightly before they kill themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
I can attest from a certain point of experience that it is not fucking funny. At all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rather traumatizing, actually, depending on the situation.
I'm so glad I'm almost 50.
I tell you what, I am so fucking glad I graduated before the 2010s. School was already a shit show. But I'm so fucking glad I got out of it before this fucking LGBT retardation crap got pushed. I remember back when you only had to worry about the teachers and the priests raping you. But now it's the entire fucking school district.
Yeah, it's not even that. It's the the education aside, it's that the school has refused to protect certain classes of students.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? Like
normal people.
Pretty much.
There's no reason why anybody, male or female, should fucking have to worry about somebody coming into their fucking locker room with a goddamn camera phone and recording them.
You know, Dave, that sounds like the kind of thing that schools might have a policy against. Oh, look. The Loudoun County school policy prohibits any kind of recording in locker rooms. But in an email to one of the parents, the school official said the video the girl recorded does not show his son in a compromising situation or quite violate his privacy in any... What the fuck do you mean? He's in a locker room!
Oh my god.
Yes,
I hate this.
Unilateral, fucking crash out. Thank you.
Yes, exactly.
What else can you
this is the
react
fucking
with?
locker room. It's like you might as well poke your fucking camera over the stall while the homie's taking his shit.
Yeah.
It's like the same thing. Fuck.
Oh, but the homie was covering his peewee, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Like they hadn't yet stripped when they hadn't yet stripped when the weird pervert started filming them, so it's fine. Good lord.
Sure. It's amazing.
Do you think that'd work if I tried that? If I went to the gym and walked into the women's locker room with a camera? Oh, I didn't mean to violate their privacy. No, they probably have a problem with the fat, hairy dude wandering in with the camera. But oh no, because it's a really stupid young girl, that's fine. Because it's a young girl with a delusion that happens to align with the school district's grooming efforts. It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, god damn, dude. It just blows my mind. The camera in the locker room should be immediately just that sentence. A student's name followed by camera in the locker room should be followed immediately by a fucking semicolon and expulsion or suspension.
No,
There's absolutely no
yes, it should be.
universe where any child should record another
Yeah.
fucking child in a private changing space.
You know how this should have
Right.
appeared in the news? Loudoun County student expelled and arrested
Expelled.
for filming in
Yes.
locker room. It should have been one fucking
Yes.
line in the news because they were expelled and arrested.
Yeah.
So,
Damn right.
the father of one of the poor boys that have been slammed with this shit said that the school district refused to show him the video in the beginning of his son's Title 9 meeting, Title 9 needs to burn. And he said the investigator peppered his son with questions the father believes are intended to bully him into admitting to something he didn't do. They didn't show us the video until after they had tried to get my son to say who said what and all this kind of stuff, the father said. He added that the Title 9 complaint leaves out quotes that the boy said in the locker room video. But once we saw the video, then we start asking about those context questions and how that can be left out. And they didn't really have a good answer to that. Of course they're not, because they're a bunch of deranged perverts who are trying to deflect from the fact that they are running a county-wide grooming organization to molest children.
It's a fucking French commie groomers, dude. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
This is how we end up with governments that will give pedophiles young boys to see if that cures their pedophilia.
This is Weimar shit.
Oh yeah, we're far out of that shit. Oh
yeah.
Retarded.
Yeah, the Weimar ship's fucking flown for sure. Or it ships that ship sailed. Sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyhow, carry on.
Yeah. So the reporter also spoke to the father of the third boy who's under investigation. To me, it looks like they're targeting the minority, the father said. His son is thinking about dropping school. We say, no, you didn't do anything wrong. They should probably find him a new school. Outside of Loudoun fucking County.
That's not wrong.
No,
Drop
they should
school.
fucking homeschool him.
Homeschool, exactly. Homeschool.
Yeah, I did.
There you go.
Yeah. So this Title 9 complaint is having a lot of impact on him. The reporter asked, yes, it's having a lot of impact. The father is an immigrant who lives in Loudoun County and is considering moving out of the county because of how the school district handled the investigation. At the end of the day, my kid's future is at stake, said the father. If this doesn't go in his favor, which I couldn't see how, it could affect his college admissions. They could look at that and think he is this terrible person. They don't look at the context of the situation. They look at the disposition, sexual harassment, and it's over for him. And that's not him. He's a sweet, kind, gentle boy. He's such a gentleman. Oh, well, a gentleman, that's as bad as being fucking Hitler.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
but, Austin Metcalf.
How dare
was
you
a
be a
fucking
man.
gentleman.
I don't understand how the fuck, right? They have video proof of this fucking twat going into the boys' locker room and fucking recording them, and somehow the boys are the ones being fucking like put on blast for sexual harassment. What the
Right.
fuck is this?
That's a gynocracy.
Yeah,
is what it is.
this is
it's a
gynocentrist,
subversion.
weaponized misandry.
Right,
Yeah,
right, right.
pretty much.
Exactly.
Because men
So,
are evil in this
This
world, of course.
is feminism in action.
Which is still fucked up too, because you know who has sons is fucking mothers. You know, my sister has 3 sons. She's not on board with this shit. She's the woman that's being fucking dragged into this feminine bullshit by virtue of them, by guilt of association of being a fucking female. You know,
Yeah.
and like she has lots of sons. She doesn't approve of this shit, and it happens all the fucking time, especially in Loudoun County.
Yeah.
Like there were so many mothers that came out in Loudoun County that testified on behalf of their mothers and their sons. It was like we shouldn't have to deal with this bullshit where you're allowing abuse. You know, just to you're allowing abuse just to not face backlash. Right. So someone is weaponizing that bullshit against the system. They're weaponizing that stuff against other people. Right. It's disingenuous, like like bad faith actors that are using this information to abuse the rest of the populace. And it's
So
stupid.
continuing, unfortunately, the good news is the Founding Freedoms Law Center is representing the families. All 3 families of the boys under investigation want the school district and the school board to drop the investigation. I want them all hung. Sorry, I want all of them but one hung. And the other one can lose their job because this shit needs to be burnt down and rebuilt. So the next Loudoun County School Board meeting is on Tuesday. Thank you for posting that. Over a week ago, 7 News asked Superintendent Aaron Spence and all 9 school board members about this case. Only board member Deanna Griffiths answered the question, saying, "What we are seeing and will continue to see are the consequences of policies that have introduced confusion and conflict into spaces that were once clear and safe, especially for young children."
There's nothing confusing about this. There is literally nothing confusing about this.
But they're talking about the stupid policies of, oh, if you pretend that you're a boy, you can be in the boys' locker room. So she's not the evil one in this case, I don't believe. The truth is, many of these issues would never have arisen if we upheld the basic principle that boys and girls are biologically different. Oh, that's a hate crime executor.
Wait.
Oh my God.
So they're being tried with sexual harassment for calling her what she is.
They're being tried with sexual harassment for asking why a girl was in the locker room. The boys' locker room.
Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous.
It is.
Yeah.
The truth,
You know what the thing is, dude? Those boys would be totally fine with a girl in their locker room as long as the bitch didn't have a camera.
Yeah.
She keep the camera to herself. She can strut around all she wants as long as she keeps the
She's
camera in
still-
her fucking mouth shut.
Well, they still didn't
What's
want.
crazy
They
is
still
that
didn't want her in there because why the fuck would young boys who are probably not having a great time with the whole puberty thing want a fucking girl in there trying to perv on them?
Because they want to show a teenage girl their dick, dude. Like, I mean, and not to be crude, but yeah, like as a former teenage boy,
As a
I
former
can totally
teenage boy,
understand that.
I can understand
So,
that too, but I would prefer it to be in a controlled environment where I can, ensure that they don't have others to compare it to.
For sure. But but the fact is that she is, and I would guarantee, I would almost bet that this is rooted a little bit more in her. It's just teenage shit. What to say? It's just teenager
For her,
shit.
maybe.
It's really what it is.
But
like this chick went in there. She may have been like looking for a grievance, but she was half hoping to see a pecker.
No, she was looking for a grievance. You know how we know?
Yeah,
Because she
but
started the
really wanted
recording, put the phone in her pocket, then walked in, and then the guy's like, "Why the fuck is a girl in the boys' locker room?" And that's it. They've committed a crime against Title IX. She was looking for a fucking grievance. She's a mentally ill psychopath.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. You have to remember that she's not just a girl. She's a fucking right.
Is she even though? Like, fuck me.
All these fucking bitches have a fucking like. This isn't to say that all trans people are like this. This is very much like an autogynephiliac sort of thing, or whatever the fuck the inverse of that is for fucking for women. But it's very much she has a fucking stick up her ass. She has something to prove, right? And she wants to be the victim because that's what these people fucking live on.
Well, we actually found something out in a previous episode. Would you be surprised? Would you be surprised to know that the NHS in England has been forced to test all the girls that say they're trans for autism?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay, so I wanna interject or comment back here is that, like, first off, she's a fucking girl, right? So she
starts off as crazy.
Girl. She's a teenage girl, yeah, right. Like, and having been a former parent of a teenage girl, I can attest to the fact that they are fucking insane. They will do fucking insane things.
As a former boy at a co-ed school, I can confirm.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what the thing is, dude? Like, I'll tell you, Biz, I understood that as a guy growing up. I did not. Like, I thought that. I thought I understood that as a boy growing up. I did not understand it until I watched my daughter go from middle school to high school and watch all her friends in middle school, like, shit on her because we were poor.
Yeah.
Like, all of a sudden those girls turned into like really snobby bitches. When you go from a fucking little elementary school to a middle school to a high school, like, it was insane watching the shit change. It opened my fucking eyes to one specific thing. It like drove one specific thing into my head, and it is that human female teenagers are so irrational and insane that you can't necessarily blame them for their fucking behavior because they're so fucking crazy. And and we think so as dudes. Like as dudes, we kind of think of like the dudes on the panel here. We think of like how we were as teenagers, and the hormonal influence of testosterone on a teenage boy is nothing like the hormonal influence as of estrogen on a teenage girl.
Now, I've
Like,
got
it
a
just
question,
drives them
Dave, just
insane.
so I can, as an aside, aside to my previous statement, and then you can continue.
Sorry, I was monologuing.
Yeah,
Go
that's
ahead,
fine,
dude.
but I'm going to aside, and then you can go back to it. So, so you're saying that teenage girls are insane to start with, and then they get all these massive hormones flying through them, fucking up their minds, driving them crazy. Now, imagine what happens if you add in a touch of autism and a bit of an androgynous face, and then throw in a bunch of loving school board and teachers.
See, now that is the X factor right there. It's not that, because kids are always the same, right? Like kids are always kind of weird and autistic and like
retarded.
Yeah,
go
that
ahead.
too.
Go ahead. Yeah, retarded. Yeah. So, but hormones make us all retarded in that phase, and we have to grant a lot of grace to kids in that age, which is why they don't always try kids. Like they don't always try 16-year-old kids as adults. It's because sometimes they're just not fucking adults. Like they've done adult shit, but they're just not adults.
Yeah, most women never seem to reach that stage.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's in my experience, and I'm sorry for the ladies in the chat. I don't know if you agree or disagree.
They probably all agree that women are crazy. I think we have polled them on this before.
But I mean, I've raised 2 boys and a daughter. I've watched 3 nephews and a niece go through puberty and go through all of that shit growing up. It is a million times crazier for a girl than it is for a boy.
Yeah, and then, like you say, throw in the X factor of a bunch of delusional in the school system.
Right. And so we as adults bear a very strong responsibility to guide this behavior, to make sure that we keep fucking boys out of girls' locker rooms and vice versa, for reasons just like this. Because kids are all assholes. That's why
states keep trying to make it illegal.
They can't always be held be held to account for their fucking.
You are exactly right, and that ties into what the article we're going to have a look at next, which is a state trying to interfere with that shooting. So,
excellent.
Continuing to quote the one member of the board who only gets fired instead of hung. LCPS students deserve their own private secure spaces, particularly in bathrooms and locker rooms. Recognizing biological differences isn't discriminatory, it's common sense, which common sense isn't, and it's essential for protecting the dignity and safety of all children. Yeah, but if children are provided with dignity and safety, it's harder to molest them. So they once again requested interviews with the piece of shit superintendent and the 8 other school board on Friday morning. One of the school board members said she was unavailable. The others did not respond. Right now, the Virginia Attorney General's office is investigating the school district over this Title IX case, and the U.S. Department of Education is investigating the school district and 4 other Northern Virginia school districts for possible violations related to bathroom and locker room policies that allow mentally ill lunatics to use locker rooms and bathrooms based on their delusions and not biological sex.
Of course.
Melox chimes in and says, as a former teenage girl, there are no words to how fucking crazy we can be. I believe you. And look, I'm saying this. I'm still traumatized by the shit that teenage girls did in high school. And I don't mean that as a joke. I mean, it has permanently died the way I view women and relationships. And anyway, and I'm sure you guys can relate. And then, women are even crazier in groups.
When my daughter hit 14, I really started advocating for clearing every other person out of Australia, and we'll send every female from the age of 14 to 18 to Australia. And I'm sorry for the spiders. I'm sorry for all the venomous creatures. You are done. They're just going to kill you all and take over and destroy that place. And then once they turn 18, we'll ferry them off into civilized society so that they can be evil throughout that 14 to 18-year-old period in a country or in a land that is as inhospitable as they are.
What do we call it? So it's not Lord of the Flies. It's Lord of what is it? Lord of the Spiders?
I don't know. Lord of the Tampax.
Yeah. I reckon you could make a funny short film out of that. I reckon, Dave.
I was gonna say Lord of the Pads. Yeah.
Yeah, I love my daughter, but if she would have disappeared for 3 years between those ages, I probably would have been okay. Like, love my daughter, love my grandkids now. I mean, not now. I mean, I've always loved my but yeah, I love my daughter now. I love my daughter since she grew up into adulthood, and I've always loved my daughter. But
and
she's
women
so much more
wonder
tolerable.
why teenage boys are interested in the slightly older woman. Gee, there are two reasons. One, slightly less crazy. Two, bigger tits. Men are simple creatures.
Yeah, you know.
It's true.
It's
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, I feel like another factor of why women are this way, aside from hormones, is also just the complete lack of like consequence.
Funnily enough, Silver in Chat agrees.
Like, no matter how they're feeling, no matter what the fuck's going on, for the most part, boys, unless they're black, understand that there's certain things you can't do because there's gonna be consequences, right?
I mentioned it earlier. Men understand that all interactions have the subtext of having your ass kicked if you fuck up.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But men understand that there's always the threat of violence. That it can always turn into that, always, right? And so men have a general sense that there's only so much you can get away with for you to get your fucking ass beat. Whereas women are not taught this. Women are not taught that hey, there's rules to respect. There's rules to this. There's rules to that. Women are kind of left off to do their thing, and so because of that, they don't. They come to this age where they're going through all these hormones, they're going through all these things, and there's no, like, for the most part, right, in society, we don't teach our girls to, hey, tone it down, because you're gonna get your fucking ass beat, because no one's gonna hit you. No one's gonna hit you for a girl. It's not gonna happen. Mm-hmm. Right? And so there's a sort of sense that consequences don't affect you, and I think that's exactly what we're seeing in this article.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And we're seeing that sense proven to be true.
For real.
Mm-hmm. Silver basically agrees with what Ginny said and says raging hormones and the current infantilization/victim mindset is not a good combo and made crazy females even crazier. I'm sorry you guys have to deal with that section of my gender. Once the hormones hit, females turn into one of the most vicious assholes. Few of us escape that fate. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure all the guys here carry trauma from shit teenage girls said or did.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yep.
And, why
aren't you interested in a relationship? Let me refer you to these things that happened when I was a teenager.
I don't blame them. And maybe that makes me a piece of shit for stripping them of agency, but I don't blame them for acting
if they're going to
crazy.
If they're going to act like irresponsible children, maybe we should start treating them like that. Okay, you can't go outside of the house without a grown man or woman escorting you.
Okay, so Bez, let me tell you. If you wanted your species to survive, would you want your women to be principled or just put as many fucking seed out in the fucking wind as possible?
Ideally, I would like women to select the highest quality men. So the exact opposite of what they seem to do.
But
how
in
they get
lieu
there
of that, you
right.
just select as many fucking people as possible and hope that the best one ends up in the end, right? Like the best one survives in the end. That's kind of how humans have changed their mating strategy. So, yeah, I don't know.
Oh dear, what a mess. Right, let's
get a little dark and fucking like John Francois, or was John Francois Garapi on the shit? But
God's
Yeah.
punishment for women was painful childbirth. God's punishment for men was women.
yes.
If you enjoyed this segment from the Sons of Chardonnay podcast, please consider joining us live exclusively on rumble.com/c/Sons of Chardonnay. A special thanks to our subscribe star supporters who you can currently see scrolling past on your screen.